welcome to the 18th Sustainable Innovation Conference. So it's great to be here, and before we start, I'd just like to say a few thank yous before we kick off into the main programme. So thank you firstly to the CFSD team and to UC Epsom. UCM, Simon, I'm sure will introduce this, has 4 campuses. This is one of the key campuses. And the team here, in terms of the technicians, catering, have been incredibly helpful in bringing this event forward. We'd also like to thank ISPIM and the Environmental Sustainability Knowledge Network.
And welcome to UCA, and welcome to our Epsom campus. Here at the University for the Creative Arts, we are delighted to be hosting this year's event, and hosting this event for the first time. We are delighted to have you with us here today and wish you an enjoyable and stimulating conference. Thank you very much.
And cities are very important, or going to become increasingly important, because by 2050, 70% of the world's population will be in cities. Cities are hotbeds of environmental and social problems, but should also be catalysts for new solutions. A, because they have, a strong purchasing power as public sector drivers, but also they have a proximity of key role players, entrepreneurs, finance, technology providers. So if we design better systems to bring those role players together, it could develop a better infrastructure to take those solutions forward.
So essentially what we ended up doing is considering eco-industries as, all the activities, economic, socio-economic, as we've seen, the social part also comes into it, activities that make this transition towards a green economy possible.
So there's now a whole industry in cartridge remanufacturing, and businesses whose sole purpose is to collect end-of-life printer cartridges, repair any parts that have become unusable, and fill them with toner and resell them.
A study in the States actually shows that 30% fewer cars were sold from 2007 to 2011. And the reason was because these millennials, they would rather share cars or use car sharing services rather than own their own car. So there is definitely some changes going on.
An island where traditionally living from fishery and tourism, they had to reinvent themselves. So what they did was Bornholm put 100 people in a ferry, sailing around the island for 2 days to come up with a new vision.
He enabled me to have the resource through the Bay Trust to actually build that model of Pines Cayley's conference venue, where we were firstly inspired by nature. I also saw this as an opportunity for actually events like this to be held in inspiring places that help stimulate creativity and reconnect with nature in its own beauty as well. We have 9 acres around of surrounding organically managed gardens for this space to develop.
And breaking the rules. And also the idea that external people bring better ideas, as we've heard this morning. Now, finally, good thinking is hard. It's very hard to think clearly, but we can, by stepping back and looking at the whole picture and taking a systems view, make better decisions.
What we do is that we collect peer groups of professionals working in the same field, big companies, SMEs, startups, and we put them together to co-create new concepts, new ideas, new business models.
So the concept is called WeHateToWaste.com. And what this is a global online community of people, like I bet everybody in this room, who hate to see things go to waste, and they know it.
Got away from these single pot high-tech things. The woman said they wanted to cook 3 pots of food at the same time, and they wanted it stable. So we replaced the 3-stone fire with a 3-pot fire. And we use 70% less wood and 90% less smoke.
We've done a lot of work in trying to find synergies, and indeed, ideally speaking, one would want to make new thought connections, if you like, to conceptualize all the possible links between things, so that you can get many, in this case, got 8 starting points, which leads you to 28 synergies at minimum.
This was one of our first startups that we started in 2007.
So a dance floor can become one big generator, turning every movement into new power. In fact, any vibrations we make can generate electricity. Even the rattle of the tram taking you home at the end of the night.
It's a company now co-created by around 300 people, selling and renting out energy generating floors in 70 countries around.
In 2003, in the beginning of the year, we launched our first collection, which was a fashion collection including clothing, both for men and women, made out of only recycled or upcycled materials. We use things like old army fabrics, old tents, utility sacks, old hospital wear. We also had some accessories in the bag area, for example, as we come from Finland, we use, for example, old rubber boots and created bags out of those. So, but a variety of different materials.
I guess what I really want you to take home as a take-home message is this forum is about creating focus, and it's about understanding where we can maximise impact of our collective interventions. So if you walk into the average grocery supermarket in the UK, you've probably got somewhere in the order of 50,000 products on the shelves.
Can't see it in your eyes.